Have you ever sat at a lively dinner party fully armed with a hilarious story about your weekend, only to find yourself stopping short because you lack the specific English verbs to tell it? Relying only on the present tense keeps your conversations rooted in the immediate surroundings. You can describe the food on the table, but you can't tell anyone about the experiences that brought you here. I'm Emily, and together with Paul, we're going to help you expand your range. If you want to move your English forward, subscribe and give this video a like. Incorporating the past tense into your vocabulary is how you move beyond surface-level small talk and begin sharing your own history. The simple past tense is a time machine, transporting listeners back to a specific, finished moment. Whether 5 minutes or 5 years ago, it has no connection to right now. Time markers like yesterday provide exact coordinates to place the story in their mind. When you combine a completed action with a specific time, you provide the context your audience needs to follow your narrative. To see how this works in a real conversation, let's look at Paul's attempt to bake a batch of cookies last weekend. On Saturday afternoon, Paul gathered his bowls, his measuring cups, and all of his ingredients on the kitchen counter. Look at his first action. Paul decided to bake. We create a regular verb by adding that predictable ed suffix. These are your story's building blocks. Whether he walked or started the oven, that ending means the action is already complete. Regular verbs provide the basic structure for your story, but the most important parts often involve actions that completely ignore these patterns. Realizing he was out of chocolate chips, Paul rushed to the grocery store to find exactly what he needed. Pay attention. Paul didn't goad to the store. He went. He saw a bag, he took it, and he bought it. These are irregular verbs. They abandon the ed rule entirely, changing their spelling so much you simply have to memorize their new forms. Paul returned home, mixed the dough, baked the cookies, and eventually took a massive, eager bite of the finished product. That's when the heat hit him. The chocolate chips were actually spicy black beans, leading to immediate culinary regret. If you've ever had a cooking disaster like Paul's, comment the word spicy below. The humor and punchline of that story depended on Paul navigating those irregular verbs quickly enough to keep the story moving. Even with those tricky irregular verbs, the story felt natural because it followed a specific structural pattern. Look at this sequence. A story is often a series of completed actions. Went, made, and ate act like train cars moving in a straight line. Stacking these simple past verbs keeps the narrative from stalling, pushing the listener forward to the final result. In this way, the simple past serves as the mechanical engine that pulls your listener from the beginning of your story to the end. You don't need to master every complex rule of English grammar to become an effective storyteller. Instead, follow this golden rule. Focus on these 10 common irregular verbs first. Mastering this small list accounts for the majority of the stories you'll tell in daily conversation. To recap, focus on finished actions, use specific time markers for context, and practice irregular spelling changes. For your homework, go to the comments and tell us 2 things you did yesterday, using at least 2 different past tense verbs. English is a tool for building connections. Mastering the past tense ensures that your stories,